Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And back by popular demand is the Hidden Gems segment. It's been a minute, but here I am to talk about 5 underrated graphic novels. So, join me. And welcome back, everybody. Now, before going any further, a big thank you to all the folks that have asked, where has this segment gone? All the folks on the Saturday live stream that we have every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. All the folks that have commented on my videos. All the folks that have emailed me. Where has this segment gone? It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just during this time of the year, it's always busy time because we're planning the polls for the most wanted Marvel Omni reprints, most wanted Marvel Omnis, most wanted DC Absolute and Omni reprints, and then most wanted DC Omnis. And then, of course, I kicked it off with the Epic collections. So I am here and I am back. I'm also been working on my reading orders. So that's what I've been doing. I promise it wasn't going to go anywhere. It's one of my favorite segments where I get to talk about 5 collected editions, graphic novels that not a lot of people talk about. And a lot of you love this segment as much as I do. So it is back. Before going any further, please smash that like button. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. All right, in no particular order, and I will let you know what the rating is, whether it's all ages or mature or anything, because I do like to know, because I have kids too, so I understand people are curious when they look at the artwork. They're like, oh man, it looks great. Can it be for all ages? Not all the time. All right, let's get started. Haphaven by Norm Harper and Louis Jones, published by Oni Press. This one here is rated teen, and now it is available in deluxe edition. There was a deluxe edition that came out in 2024, and a trade paperback. And this is also a smaller digest-sized trade paperback, so that is something to keep in mind. The story starts off with something very near and dear to my heart, and that is a father telling a story to his young daughter. The young daughter's name is Alex Mills. And her bedtime story is about this hero that apparently was part of their family named Zane. And the father ends up gifting her this bat that apparently belonged to Zane. And since she plays softball, she adores this bat because she's also a fan of superstition, or she believes and relies heavily on superstition and good luck charms. This all comes to play when one day, at a very young age, she loses her father. He dies in an accident. And her mother is the exact opposite. She doesn't believe in superstition. She doesn't believe in good luck. She just believes on relying on yourself. So Alex keeps this bat next to her at night because it does remind her of the stories that her father told her. And years pass and she's a little bit older. She's at a game. And again, she has a little bit of a conflict with her mom because her mom doesn't believe in any of these superstitious things that her father and her believed in. So what happens is she ends up stepping on a crack and breaking her mother's back. Her mother's at the hospital, and this is when things become really interesting and unique. And unique in a way that I love stories like this, because we are dealing with an Alice in Wonderland type of story, or Through the Looking Glass, or Wizard of Oz, or Isekai, if you will. But what happens is she is approached by this little leprechaun type of warrior. His name is Hubbub Cascade. And he sends her on a journey to this place called Haphaven. And this is a world where all of the Earth's superstitions draw their power. And what her journey is to go get a rabbit's foot to restore her mom's life. Who's laying at the hospital. So she soon discovers, like, there's all kinds of people that she can trust there, all kinds of little people that she can't trust, but there's a little character named Penny. So yes, it's anything from throwing salt over your shoulders to seeing a black cat, and the black cat does play a big premise through here. But imagine a world that is filled and powered by superstition, and that's where she has to go to defeat this enemy called the Jinx. Oh man, this one was so good because it reminds me of my relationship with my daughter and both of them, like just telling them stories when they were little. And, you know, the character of Alex is just so endearing. She's feisty, she's smart, and she's on her own adventure, like at a young age. She's a little bit of a headstrong character, but I like that. And she's on a mission to go and make her mom feel better, even though she doesn't see eye to eye with her mom. It is available, like I mentioned, in a deluxe edition. It just came out last year. It is available in trade paperback and one for teen. And honestly, almost all ages if it wasn't for just a little bit of the violence that she does with the baseball bat. And how exactly does that story of Zane, that was supposed to be a family member, play into this world of Haphaven? Barnstormers by Tula Lotay and Scott Snyder, published by Dark Horse Comics. This one is rated mature. It was an original comicsology, but Dark Horse last year printed it as a trade paperback. I really like this story because it's set in the 1920s. As a matter of fact, this takes place in 1927. So I immediately am drawn to that. Not a lot of comics take place during this time and about this topic. And the topic is about Barnstormers, which are a group of pilots that fly planes for the thrills and seeks of others to go and pay for them to do this. So it all involves this character, this injured pilot who was in the war named Hawk E. Barron. So he's back from the front lines of the war. And he's having visions of like these mechanical creatures, and you don't know if they were real or if his mind are just, it's just playing tricks on him. What exactly are these creatures and how does it relate to the story? So he's a little bit of a thrill seeker, and he travels from town to town on his plane, entertaining different folks. And it's a really unique time because not a lot of these people that he's entertaining have even seen cars. So when a plane comes around, they're like, what the heck is that thing? Now, his world changes when he meets the character of Percy and his soon-to-be wife, Tilly. She's a young woman who actually ends up sharing his passion for aviation and adventure. So she does leave Percy behind, the man that she's supposed to marry, and how they meet is quite adorable. I really like how the character of Hawk E. Barron and Tilly meet. But she leaves Percy behind, and this becomes kind of a chase type of story. And then a whodunit type of story when a murder mystery is thrown into all of this. And Hawk really learns to trust in her, so much so that he lets her know his real name. And again, 1927, about aviation, about adventures, and what are these mechanical creatures from the war? What do they symbolize? Or are they coming after him? So if you think, I've seen it described as like a Bonnie and Clyde type of story because, like I said, there is a murder mystery later on. But I think it's a lot more than that. To me, it really felt like a story of adventure and this beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful Tula Lotay artwork. Oh my gosh, it is just gorgeous and mind-blowing that this was not released in a deluxe edition. But who knows, maybe one day. And I hope we get to return to this world because I would love to follow the adventures of Tilly and Hawk. But only available right now in trade paperback. Beware the Eye of Odin by Doug Wagner, Tim Odlin, and Michelle Madsen, published by Image Comics. This one here is rated teen, but it is so much fun. And a big thank you to Tim Odlin for sending me a copy of this trade paperback a few years ago. So this is pure fun. This is why I enjoy comics. This is a story that, of course, has a lot of Norse mythology built around it, but it is the story of Helgi, who is this prince. It's of this particular Viking village, and he ends up with a curse, and the curse is all because of the Eye of Odin. Now, we don't know if that is real or not, if the curse is real, or if all these stories that his father told him are real. And in order for him to lift the curse, because the curse is going to kill him, is what's going to happen. He only has a certain amount of time. So if he doesn't return it to the rightful owner by the new moon, he will die an agonizing death. And nobody wants that. So he sets out on a journey to go and return this eye to perhaps the frost giants. Again, not knowing if this curse is real, not knowing if this MacGuffin is going to actually do anything. But along the ride are two of his friends. One of them is Steiger, who's this one-armed badass warrior that replaces his arm with this like big anvil and just swirls it around. And then his friend, who could be a bit of a lunatic, and that is Catelyn, who is a female warrior that talks to this mouse, and she thinks the mouse talks back to her, or does it, and also thinks that she's a Valkyrie warrior. Now, does she think, or is she a Valkyrie warrior? Well, you can find out here, because this is an all-in-one. There's nothing that comes after this, but I would love a follow-up to this. So this journey that they're on, they will end up meeting different creatures like the Hundra folk, which are these little people that live in the forest. There's a bunch of trolls that they have to fight, and then of course the dwarven smiths that they will run into to get weapon upgrades, if you will. A wonderful story about friendship and what it means to be family, and the type of adventure that you would see in something like Lord of the Rings. And the artwork by Odin is just mind-blowing. I really like it. To me, he's got this mix of some of my favorite artists, like James Stokoe and Arthur Adams, and somebody like Ryan Ottley, Corey Walker, and also Nick Bradshaw and Steve Scroggs. That's like the mix that he has in here, and it works. The panels are full of energy, and oh man, the colors by Madsen are just great. So this was a lot of fun, and the reason I was like, oh, I need to talk about that book again. Sashi Melanie and I were at Sentinel Comics a couple of weeks ago, depending on when this airs, and she was about to buy a set, and I'm like, no, wait, I actually have that trade paperback, and I need to talk about it in my Hidden Gems. Only available in trade paperback. I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the words I'm about to pronounce. This is Bajabongo by Marek Turek and published by Kultura GNU. I'm sorry. Big shout out to my friend Marco, who sent this to me a couple of years ago, and it is a Polish comic book. So again, apologies for all of the mispronunciations I'm about to do. But he sent this my way, and I was like, oh, Polish comic. Oh man, I don't read nor speak it. But there are no words in here. There's no dialogue. And I just talked about fun comics. I talked about comics that, you know, to kind of loose yourself into when you need a break from something heavy reading. This may not have any words, but I have looked at this book, flipped through the book, read it, absorbed it, I think at least 10 times. It's just a lot of fun. It's creepy, it's artsy, it's weird, and older teen probably, just to play it safe. It all revolves around, okay, so let me just tell you how it starts so you can get an idea, and you're looking at the pictures, of course, right now. But it's a group of men that are locked up in this, it looks like a prison, and they are let out, and when they go out, they start opening their eyes, and their eyes turn into giant spotlights. The spotlights are to lead this plane at an airport to land, and in that plane is where we meet our protagonist. Don't know what his name is, but like I said, there's no dialogue. So he gets out, and he looks like he's on vacation, and it's funny travel, so you only see a couple of words through here. And funny travel, this bus ends up taking him to a hotel. At the hotel, he's jumping in the swimming pool, and then this is when things get weird, because the spotlight eyes aren't weird enough. So somebody approaches him and hands him a map, and the map is to this castle. He goes to the castle, and at this castle, a couple of guys push him into a well where it looks like he dies. The blood splatters, and the blood becomes a painting. This rich guy that collects these paintings buys this painting and takes it with him, and somebody burns the paintings down, and the smoke turns into a butterfly. So that gives you an idea how weird and artsy this is. So if that's not your thing, or if like David Lynch movies aren't your thing, this is not for you. It's all done in black and white. I think it's absolutely compelling with their stories like this, when it's somebody's idea and when they may understand it or not understand it. But sometimes, you know, in comics, because it is that medium where it's not just words, right? You're following the art. I like that. I like to be lost. I like to be thrown in the middle of a weird story, and it kind of gives me that, what the hell is going on feeling. If you don't like feeling like that, this may not be for you. This is available still. It's still in print, because I did check before looking at this video, or recording this video. So for anybody that wants to purchase it, you may have to purchase it from overseas. But I did see a copy on eBay last week. Not sure if it's still there or not. But anyway, this is only available in trade paperback as far as I know, and now I want to go and check out the rest of Marek's work. Coyotes by Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky, published by Image Comics. This one is mature rating, and is it Coyotes or Coyotes? Now, how I found out about this book, I think it was in 2018 or maybe 2017, I was on Omnibros, and either Luis or Gabe, they were talking about this book, and they were jokingly talking about it. They were giving me like a joke pitch, and I can't remember what it was. Whatever it was not the same as when I read it. But when I ended up reading, I did enjoy. So the basic premise of this is, first of all, it's pretty horrible. It's women are being snatched away by the dozens. They are disappearing in this city of Lost Girls, which is a border town in the desert of Mexico. So there are shape-shifting wolves that are these particular predators that are going after these women and young girls. So a young girl named Red swears vengeance on these wolves after her family is assaulted in her hometown. And the wolves end up slaughtering most of her family, and she ends up dragging her sister into this big fight against these wolves. And on the other side of things is you have this officer named Frank Coffey who begins to suspect that something else is going on. At first, he doesn't believe in werewolves. He doesn't believe in the supernatural, but he starts changing his mind when more and more evidence comes around. Now, there's 2 volumes of this that are out right now. And obviously, yes, the character's name is Red. She's fighting wolves, so immediately you think of like Red Riding Hood. It's a little bit of that. But honestly, where my brain went immediately was the serial murders of the women of Ciudad Juarez. That's where my brain went, but it doesn't really touch on that. So to me, this is a great horror, like a good combination of horror and mythology with phenomenal artwork by Caitlin Yarsky. Seriously, there's some imagery through here that is just both graphic and gory, yet beautiful at the same time. And I can think of just certain artists that can do that. Not every artist is that talented, but yeah, her art in here, oh, so good. And like I mentioned, 2 volumes. I don't know if there'll be a 3rd one or not, and both of them are still in print and only available in trade paperback. Now, if you're interested in any of the books I've talked about in this segment, check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And those were my hidden gems for the month of May of 2025. So good to be back doing this segment, and thank you all of you that have asked where the segment went. And a big shout out to our patrons. Could not be doing this video without you all. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button on the way out. I will try to be back next month, but we are wrapping up some polls, so yes, I will try my best to be back because I do enjoy talking about lesser known books. And in the comments, let me know what you have read recently that not a lot of people are talking about as far as Hidden Gem, whether it was released today or released 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it was. That's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.